Electricast.
Cars say a lot about who we are.
It represents freedom for a lot of people.
This season on Drive, I'm going to talk to all sorts of different people.
I looked at car names.
Yes.
And
yes.
I found all the car names that have science or astronomically
it's
inspired.
Crazy.
It's huge.
It is. Yes, I happen to be CEO of Ford Motor Company. For me, it's all about cars, movement, and our mutual passion for things that get us around. This is Drive, and I'm Jim Farley.
This episode is brought to you by Paramount Plus. Ewan McGregor stars as Count Alexander Rostov in A Gentleman in Moscow, the new limited series based on the best-selling novel. Stream it on March 29th with the Paramount Plus with Showtime plan. Visit ParamountPlus.com to try it free.
Hold on to your butts.
We are changing the course of history as we see it. That is what Western demands.
Now this affects Iris. Iris, where are you?
What you feel only matters to you. I do not entertain hypotheticals. The world as it is vexing enough.
Iris, I have a tip for you.
Don't take drugs!
Or Whatever Movies with Wesley and Iris.
What up, and welcome to Or Whatever Movies. I'm your co-host, Iris, and I'm here with my older brother.
W.I.H.I.S.T.A. That's terrible, Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Today we're discussing a movie from 1987, a Coen Brothers classic, and a centerpiece of Nick Cage Month at Or Whatever Movies, Raising Arizona.
Is it a classic?
I mean, in the Coen Brothers body of work.
The Coen Brothers, for sure. Kelly Ray turned to me after this movie and is like, so is this the Coen Brothers comedy that you like? And I was like, of the Coen Brothers comedies, if I liked one, because I'm not considering Fargo a comedy. I don't know if you do. This is my favorite.
Wait, what about Buster Scruggs?
Yes, also Buster Scruggs, which I actually like. But Buster Scruggs has long periods, like The Mortal Remains, the end, that I don't care about at all. So they did a weird thing. The Coen brothers released Blood Simple, which was a pretty big hit. And then they were like, we want to do the exact opposite. And moving through their career, they tend to do this, where they will do a serious movie, quote unquote, and then a comedy. They're starting to blend a little bit more now. But Raising Arizona is undoubtedly only a comedy, and the complete opposite of their debut. You hadn't seen Raising Arizona, I don't think. And I sat Kelly down, and she had seen it at some point, or at least she knew of the premise. And she said, here it is, the original baby stealing movie.
Are there others?
I don't know. But I've seen this movie several times. It's eminently quotable, but I didn't write down a lot of notes. Like, how do you talk about Raising Arizona? It's a weird movie.
Huh.
I think it's a perfect Nicolas Cage movie because he wholly commits to the wackiness, and Holly Hunter is lovely in being Holly Hunter, and I think a pitch perfect foil to him. But other than that, like I don't know how to talk about this movie.
I think that's a good point. It's because you could also just fanboy out about it. People love this movie. I feel like people are obsessed with this movie like they are with The Big Lebowski. Somehow they're like one and the same in my mind.
Yeah, because they're like Coen Brothers comedies to me. And while I acknowledge that those movies are good, like people love them and Oh Brother Where Art Thou and stuff, Coen Brothers comedies have never been my thing. Like, this movie is funny.
Maybe the question is, then what do you not like about Raising Arizona?
I don't like that it is a screwball comedy that you could see like your racist uncle loving, and so like you feel weird about liking it at the same time.
Is there something icky just about the underlying premise of baby stealing?
No, that doesn't bother me. But I think that Raising Arizona is a different world, at least for us. It's like Breaking Bad. New Mexico plays no role in our daily lives. It's just a different world than where we live.
Also set in the Southwest.
The justification for Hyde going on a crime spree, like he tries to walk the straight and narrow and get with Ed, but his reasoning is like, it's really hard to be good, with that son of a bitch Reagan in the White House. Like, what does that mean? It's like Wesley in Forrest Gump smacks Jenny. It was like, I never meant to hurt you. It's just this lying son of a bitch Johnson. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's just what you say when you feel like the world is going to hell in the handbasket.
Yeah.
What does it mean? I mean, maybe this movie is like The Hangover in a way, where it's kind of more of a character study, and like that character is just consistency, like that these characters are so true to themselves and true to their natures. Like Holly Hunter is a law-abiding, mugshot-taken police officer, and that's her nature. And though she deviates from that course for a little bit in this movie, she has to ultimately return to kind of the good and moral person who makes sound decisions at the end. And Nick Cage is a criminal, and Gail and Evil, is it Evil?
They got a name for that. Recidivism. Repeat offender. I need you to quit using big words talking about Raising Arizona.
Oh, because this is supposed to be a base level comedy?
It is, but it isn't. The Coen brothers are undoubtedly smart, but the commitment to this movie, this is like mugging for the camera. In a way, like an old style of comedy where they're like, what are their names?
Ed and Hi.
John Goodman.
Gail and Evil.
Gail and Evil. When they realize they lost a baby and they scream for like 5 minutes solid, doing like spin outs and going back, just nonstop screaming. I can see how this movie could get super annoying. This, by the way, the first movie starring Nicolas Cage and John Forsythe, who plays Evil, who is the mustache dude in The Rock. Although the Coen brothers, despite this being a dumber movie than The Rock, maybe not dumber, but it appears dumber its carefully crafted dumbness, is worlds away from Michael Bay and The Rock.
That's true.
The only connecting threads being John Forsythe and, of course, Nicolas Cage, our star.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage, an interesting choice for this. So the first and last time he and the Coen brothers worked together, right?
Yeah, apparently they didn't have a tremendous working relationship, because what I found is that the Coen brothers are absolutely meticulous and they are obsessive in their detail. You don't improv with the Coen brothers. And Nicolas Cage, as we all know, is just a little bit wacky. So they butted heads here and there.
Mm-hmm. I could see that. He does he's pretty toned down in this, though. Like, he's a much more muted Nick Cage in this. The High character?
Yeah, he's beleaguered. He's not a wild man.
Right? I mean, he does crazy things, but his character is not reserved. It's just...
handpicked?
Well, I don't know. I mean, that comes later, but he was always kind of a chill convenience store robber kind of dude.
He's... And I have real respect and admiration and affection for H.I. McDonough. He's not the loud, crazy, I lost my hand, I lost my hand, I lost my bride kind of Nicolas Cage. The part that I find just a little bit tiresome after a while. This is a much more understated, doe-eyed, puppy-eyed kind of Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, this is like his most blue-eyed, mustachioed movie ever. And he's still got the early Nick Cage bleach blonde thing going.
Yeah, it was kind of like blonde and thinning at the same time somehow.
Yeah. And especially wild in this.
I could see in the Raising Arizona remake that Nicolas Cage would play the bounty hunter. Kelly Ray took one look at that dude and was like, is that dog the bounty hunter?
He kind of has a, what's that dude from the Mayans and the biker show?
Sons of Anarchy, like Charlie Hunnam or something?
Yeah, Sons of Anarchy, but the other guy.
I have no idea.
The guy from the biker movie, from Sons of Anarchy.
The guy from the biker movie. I don't know. I never saw Sons of Anarchy.
Mark Boone Jr. He had a Mark Boone Jr. vibe.
Sure.
Yeah, so is there supposed to be more meaning to Raising Arizona, to the Smalls character, to High's kind of revelation at the end? He has these, like, you know, somehow visionary dreams.
Yeah, those dreams, by the way, and where he's looking far into the future. And his kids that he has with Ed are full grown, the son or the daughter and the husband or whatever, and then they have a bunch of grandkids when they're holding hands at the table.
Yeah.
How old would you estimate those parents are at the end, the adult kids?
30s and 40s?
Yeah, so maybe let's say 35 as a mean.
Sure.
About how old Raising Arizona is, which means those future dinner scenes are set more or less in our present day.
Yeah, and how does your age factor into this?
But you can't tell because it's Arizona and they still use that crazy like Corningware and junk, and it all looks exactly the same then as it does now.
You don't know.
And they're still wearing those like print dresses and stuff with like the butterick pattern.
How much time do you spend in Arizona?
Much. I have recently spent much time in Arizona. I don't see the Raising Arizona in real Arizona. But then again, I also didn't spend much time in like Nomadland and Quartzsite and stuff. This is off the beaten path, swingers in trailer parks, Arizona.
Yeah. That's the most aggressive he gets. He goes in and he's like doing the flappy hand, holding up the convenience stores, and he's all not gentlemanly, but he's like, not an aggressive dude. But when you talk about his wife, that's when HI throws down.
And in a way, I think it's more reactionary to Glenn being a total deeb, because he is also willfully defying Ed by saying, this is something I got to do. I have to rob this convenience store and put our family in jeopardy. And I have to leave you, Ed, because this is what I need to do. I got to get on the bank heist and stuff. But when it comes to defending his wife against Glenn, then he's all about it.
Good point.
Looking into deeper meanings of Raising Arizona, I'm not sure it's possible, or I'm not capable of deciphering. Because I didn't write anything for this movie. It's just a wacky, fun ride with recurrent themes and stuff that I was surprised to find how much I enjoyed rewatching. I haven't seen it in a few years, but I've seen it a number of times. It's funny, but I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have many laugh out loud kind of gags. And you wonder when things escalate, maybe it's wholly commitment.
Yeah.
Like we've talked about in other movies on the Coen brothers' parts, where the simple grocery store robbery becomes a crosstown chase with screaming and dogs. And there's the one part where the cop car is chasing them down the road, and the cop in the car is just boom, 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 and shooting all throughout the frame. It's totally absurd, and the yodel music is going in the background the whole time, and it all comes around, and the lady with the shopping cart and like the shower net or the permanent hair thing that housewives wear to the grocery store and stuff.
Oh yeah, the curlers.
And Kelly Ray's like, why are all the dogs running? And I was like, because the one dog broke free in the yard, and then they all followed suit, but they become useful because they like tackle someone that was about to like stop his chase or whatever. Don't they tackle one of the clerks or something?
They definitely get involved somehow.
It all comes around.
I mean, I guess so. The tension is mounting. They're layering in all the different obstacles. The chase scene gets very layered, and somehow a package of Huggies diapers is at the center of all of it.
Right. It's the craziest chase scene ever committed to film.
Yeah, and I guess it brings us to the larger question is there deeper meaning to Arizona, or is it kind of faux philosophical in a way that makes you think that there's something there, but it's really just a screwball comedy and a commitment to different and various character studies? Like, I keep on going back to the dude at the machine shop where he's talking about Bill Parker.
Not that mother scratcher, Bill Parker.
And he's talking so gleefully and committedly about his story, and he's chewing his gum, and he's
and he's got the fucking head in the other.
And you have no idea what he's talking about or what it means, except
High definitely doesn't.
And it probably doesn't really mean anything other than that you think that this guy is strange, but kind of somewhere deep down that there are lots of people who are like him.
Oh, absolutely. And you said taking Arizona seriously. I assume you mean Raising Arizona, but in general, I don't know if Arizona can be taken seriously either. It's the perfect setting for this movie where all bets are kind of off. Like, I'm sure that that dude exists. I'm sure the Bill Parkers of the world exist. I'm sure that dude had a fully scripted story, only part of which he was relaying during that scene with High, who's barely listening. I think we even have his inner monologue over that dude's speech, right?
Some of it, yeah.
And I don't know if it's profound or not. Maybe it's true. And maybe there's profundity in truth. And that is the strength of Raising Arizona, despite all its inanity and ridiculousness.
Wackiness.
Find a fresh take on a fall getaway to Wilmington, North Carolina and beaches. Enjoy hiking trails in a state park, fresh seafood with a side of live music, and fall festivals galore. Then live it up along the Riverwalk in Wilmington's historic downtown. With 3 island beaches, Carolina, Curie, and Wrightsville, and a vibrant downtown, you get the best of the Carolina coast, all in one place. Plan your fall getaway at WilmingtonandBeachesVacation.com.
Hey, Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
So are you saying there's profundity and truth in the character's representation, that all of these people coming together might be a little unrealistic, but in real life they're real?
I guess so, because in all things there's truth, and there's certainly logic in everything that Nathan Arizona, aka Nathan Huffhines, does. And yet his homespun wisdom holds true. If a frog had wings, it wouldn't bump its ass a hopping. He's like a patently ridiculous character, but he also has real trauma, and he and his wife lost a baby, one of many babies, even though it was returned. But we don't care about the horror that they experience when they lose young Nathan Jr., right? It's all about the fun and adventure, and I don't know that the deeper themes allow. It's just like if there's a screwball caper comedy for Americans, this has got to be it.
And yet there are those really interesting moments of truth with Nathan Arizona Sr. I mean, there are plenty of people who would choose to buy unpainted furniture to save a few bucks, right? Which sounds really inefficient to me. It's like, just get it painted because you're actually never going to paint it, right? You're going to have unpainted furniture for the rest of your life.
Wait, okay, so this is a thing in the Southwest. I get that there's a rustic vibe. I thought that it was unpainted because it was rustic feeling.
No.
Like it doesn't, you're supposed to paint it?
It's on.
Why would you buy unpainted furniture?
Well, so that you can customize it to fit your decor, but also so that you can save money.
You got to say that in the Nathan Arizona voice. So you can fit your decor.
And I think that there are plenty of people who would do that, who would buy unpainted furniture to save a few bucks, right? Because they know they can get those rock bottom prices with Nathan Arizona. But also, Nathan Arizona is hard as nails. When he sits down across the table from Smalls, I don't know. That is a test of wills, or maybe a testament to wills. Like, they are perfectly matched in this really bizarre way. I was like, dude, check out the rocks on Nathan Arizona.
Because Smalls is pretty terrifying.
Terrifying. And Nathan Arizona is unflinching.
Yeah.
And then he has the most touching monologue or dialogue. I mean, he's the closest thing to voicing some kind of message or theme for this movie at the end.
Yeah.
Pretty complex character, in my opinion, which is kind of weird to say.
Is Smalls a complex character?
Well, Smalls is just a symbol of the apocalypse and all the things that could go wrong.
That's your boy.
Who? Randall Cobb?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
He was the lunk-headed forehead dude in The Golden Child. Trying to prevent the Golden Child from leaving the cage.
He's like wearing a robe. I like the picture in my mind. He's like wearing a robe or something.
Yeah. And he's like, oh
my God.
He's kind of a Neanderthal. Yeah.
Wow.
And the worst part about all of it, Smalls is terrifying in spite of his little booties attached to his belt or whatever.
Well, those just amplify the terror.
Did you see how he made that cigarillo and that match appear out of thin air?
Yeah.
And he nailed that bunny on the side of the road.
Yeah, and
he
the
drove
lizard.
over the fountain. It's pretty bad, yeah, with the shotgun.
Yeah.
That dude, Smalls, what's his name?
Randall Tex Cobb.
Yeah, 36 years old.
When he played Smalls?
Yep, I'm a full 10 years older than that dude.
You're so
And I'm
obsessed.
pretty sure that if I sat down opposite him, I'd be able to talk him down too.
You think so?
And being his elder.
You think you could neutralize that situation?
Yep. What's he gonna do? Shoot me?
I mean,
maybe.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe you're not cute and innocent enough for him to shoot you.
Oh.
I mean, I'm not saying you're not cute.
Yeah. So ready to make it weirder?
Yeah.
Randall Tex Cobb, far younger than me. How old do you figure Nathan Arizona Sr. to be in this movie? You're about to be obsessed.
He has little babies, so he can't be over, 40.
Well, they do things different in Arizona, but when this movie was released, he was 39 years old, considerably younger than us both. Nathan,
Whoa.
Arizona.
Easy on the considerably. You could consider 39 like early 40s. It's kind of the same difference.
Man, but he's like sun-withered Arizona old, right? All out of touch and stuff. There, I don't know, jammies. They had Yodas and shit on them.
Yeah, they start questioning him. That's pretty hilarious. He gets all defensive.
But I mean, they age differently in the 80s and in Arizona. And
Right.
Florence she like had her hair all done up and had those like grandma glasses and stuff.
Well, how old is Dot?
The amazing Frances McDormand.
Mm-hmm.
She was a mere 30 years old in this movie.
No way.
Yeah, dude. They all look like grandmas.
Yeah, they kind of do. I mean, maybe that's just like that was what was fashionable in Arizona at the time. But what a different character for Frances McDormand. I mean, basically just like a make-upped, elevated version of her Fargo character.
We all love Frances McDormand. And I dare say most people love Holly Hunter, who's kind of awesome.
She's great in this. And I love how Dot works Ed up into a frenzy. They start talking about college and vaccinations. Yeah, dip tets. Which I don't know that you do the dip tet anymore. I know that they have all these like combo vaccines, but I'm not sure if that's still a one. Do you know that you can be vaccinated for chickenpox now?
Welcome to the club. I've been well, actually, wait a minute. No, I did not know that. I knew I know that if you have it, then you're okay, right?
Yes, you're okay. You won't get chickenpox again, but if you have it, that means that you're susceptible to shingles later on.
If you've had it, everyone who's had chickenpox can potentially
get shingles. Yeah, which is supposed to be gnarlier and way worse than chickenpox. But when we were growing up, chickenpox was just a rite of passage. Like just get it over with. It was like the forerunner to COVID parties. People were like, well, she's got chickenpox. Just go get it and get it over with. Do you remember that? Crazy.
Yes, I was in that position. And it's like being locked in the room with like Reagan from The Exorcist. It's like, I'm supposed to get infected by you? It seems absurd.
Oh, it's totally absurd.
But also, I don't think anyone ever died from chickenpox, did they?
I mean, unless you were like severely compromised in some other way, maybe. It was more that just the topical, manifestation of it, which was so gnarly. But it was just like a thing you did. You got chickenpox, you got it over with, and now you don't have to get chickenpox anymore. Like my girls are vaccinated and will likely never have to have chickenpox, and they'll be spared all of the random chickenpox scars.
See, yeah, you're a modern mom though. But people survived. People survived differently in the 80s when we used to ride in the back of trucks. Mind don't cut yourself, Mordecai, and those kids were snotty-nosed and...
Oh, yeah. You mean the ones that were...
bearers of disease.
The ones that ride on your lap in the station wagon?
Yeah, heads up, boy. Throw gravel at them and stuff.
Throw gravel.
Yeah, that was us, despite not living in Arizona.
Yeah, that car seat was like just such a joke. It was like a cushion.
But it held them in because they were doing burnouts.
Yeah, I love how she's talking to Nathan Jr. the whole time. Like, all right, let's go get Daddy. I have a question for you. At the end, when they, I think when they're returning Nathan Jr.
Yeah.
How does she get the cop car? She's already tendered her badge.
Did she? I never saw her officially retire.
Well,
She's an officer of the law, twice decorated.
Yeah, but then they're barren and they can't have children, and she loses all will to live, and she stops cleaning the house and she tenders her badge.
Well, no, he says she tended her bed, as in she retreated to her bed.
I think she quit. Tendered her badge, dude.
Tended her bed.
Dude,
now I gotta look it up.
I'm looking it up too. Come on. Soon after, she tendered her badge.
Damn it. See, this is one of those Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark moments where as a kid, I heard the cadence and the inflection of these phrases and believed I had them down. It's like Saturday Night Fever, where they're talking about drugs and sex and we have no idea. I thought it was like an Arizona, like a Southwest expression. And soon after, tended her bed.
For context, she's sitting on her bed. And she's got clothes scattered all around her. But he says that she resigned from the police department.
Man, learning new things live on air every day.
So I'm saying, if she's done,
how'd she get the cop car?
Right, and also, it's important. It's an important story point because she can't lawfully commit kidnapping as an officer of the law. So it's important that she resigns, and then they commit the crime. right? And now she's a criminal. But then at the very end, for I think the final set piece, they're in a cop car.
I would like to specify she was never formally charged with any crime of any sort. Neither she nor H.I.
It's true. Nathan Sr. doesn't press charges. He's very, very forgiving in that way. I don't know that Mrs. Arizona might have been quite so forgiving. Although she's out of the picture as soon as the kidnapping happens. Which is a testament to his good nature. Like he's, and he wants them to stay together. He he was never set up as a bad dude, but he's certainly a good dude and the mouthpiece of like the theme and the moral of this story, which is like, I don't know, family and love.
This is Arizona the Family Man. Available now at or whatever movies. Not part of Nicolas Cage Month, but another Nicolas Cage selection nonetheless.
Yeah, as Christmassy a movie as Rambo. As First Blood. So how did they get the cop car?
I have no idea.
All right. I'm just saying. A little weird.
A little. This movie is an anomaly. Like it's a comedy for sure. And that's really all that I can definitively say about this movie. Does it stand as a testament to the Coen brothers and their ability to make total direction shifts? It's like, if this is the sophomore outing, if this is the, their second album, does it behoove them to be tonally, totally inconsistent and just go in a completely different direction and risk alienating the fan base or the sort of cachet that you've built up? It's risk-taking, and I suppose Nicolas Cage had nothing to lose, and despite the fact that he may have bumped heads with the Coen brothers, I think he's perfectly cast. I think this whole movie is perfectly cast. We didn't talk a lot about John Goodman and John Forsythe, but those characters were like the most Raising Arizona characters ever, right? All like screaming and greasy and wearing way too much denim.
Yeah,
kind of
way
thing.
too much denim and hair grease and pomade.
Yeah, they were the comic versions of Smalls the Bounty Hunter.
Right.
I'm surprised that they didn't team up at the end.
Yeah, I think the moral of the story just kind of comes down to babies are really lovable, and when it comes down to it, you all want them and you all want to do right by them. And I guess I guess there's evil in the world that might want to exploit them, but otherwise they're the bomb. And
yep.
I think that's probably as fair a meaning to ascribe to Raising Arizona than any. It's love and family and babies, and that's our review on Raising Arizona. You're getting a what from Wes?
I don't know. I'll give Raising Arizona an all right. It's a little bit too wacky, and I don't really have the comedy gene. It doesn't. It bounces off me a little bit. But the distinction of being one of two Coen brothers comedies that I like, come at me, bro.
And a good from Iris. That's our discussion on Raising Arizona. An interesting character study, too, for our main character and focus of Nicolas Cage Month.
Dare I say a worthy inclusion?
A worthy inclusion as a bit of an anomaly, not only as a movie, but as a role and as a character for Nicolas Cage. We hope that you've enjoyed this review on Raising Arizona. If you did, please give us a 5-star rating wherever you get podcasts. Please support us on Patreon. Please follow us on social media at or whatever movies, or hit us up and let us know what you think about Raising Arizona at 818-835-0473 or whatever movies at gmail.com. And thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Okay, then.
Miles, are you ready to record our promo for Season 2 of the Wanna Bet podcast?
David, have you ever seen a grown man naked?
Miles, we're not here to quote lines from Airplane. We're here to tell people that Season 2 starts August 18th.
But I like Airplane.
I know you do, but Wanna Bet is a sports betting podcast. Each week we bet $1,000 on the NFL teams and games that we love.
Well, that sounds like fun.
It is fun. And last year you picked over 60% of your games correctly.
How'd you do?
We're not talking about that. We are telling people that they can find us every Friday. So no more movie quotes.
Roger.
Electricast. Welcome to the Candle Power Hour. Come with us backstage behind the scenes of show business spanning over 4 decades and bringing you the experiences that can only be told by the people who were there.
Our guests are from the A-list, the F-list, and everyone in between. Get set for some of the most insane, hilarious, and inspiring stories you will ever hear.
I'm Mercury.
And I'm Diego.
Your hosts for the Candle Power Hour. Electricast.